We still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you, you're the only thing that makes us all believe.
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters. It is Talk of the Toon with me and Sid from Songs from the Attic. How are you, Sid?
Very good, mate. How's yourself?
Very good, mate. Very good. And we will be joined halfway through the show, as usual, by Rob for a little bit of music. So stay tuned for that. And just a quick one on your channel, Sid. What have you been up to? We often have a little chat about it. Have you been up to anything in recent weeks?
I've just done there's 4 of us on, so we've just done an top 10 openings. So what's the best song to open an album on? So that was quite interesting because we had about 35 or 36 different opinions.
Brilliant.
So yeah, there's not many where there weren't many similar choices. I think there was only 2 tracks, maybe 3, where the same track was mentioned. So it was a bit of a surprise, and the number 1's a real shock, actually. Very surprised.
Bit of intrigue there. So Songs from the Attic is where you want to go to on YouTube. Give Sid a subscription.
I'll be out on Friday, so that's out on Friday.
Fantastic. And you're back in front of live audiences, Sid, as well. So what you've got gigs, you're getting out and gigging again. So give us a little bit of information on that.
Yeah, take a quick, man. Just doing a duo. If anyone wants to book a duo, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that sort of stuff, you know the stuff. The Unlikely Lads, and then solo, doing a few solo gigs as well. And then also doing rhythm and blues band, Rocket 88. So I haven't played rhythm and blues for years. Since my old drummer passed away, so I'm looking forward to getting out doing that again. So cool.
Good stuff. Yeah, usually on the coast, I've noticed on your posts a lot of stuff down Whitley Bay way and stuff. So I'm sure people can find you on social media. And
happy to be booked for anywhere, folks. Happy to be booked for anywhere.
Good stuff. And of course, you're spinning the discs at the Christmas do as well, which we're looking forward to. So fantastic stuff. Looking forward to that. Okay, as you can tell, I've put off as long as I
can. I can ask about the Christmas thing as well to anybody who's going, because it's on the 21st. Is that right?
Correct. There we go.
Yeah, it's in November, which is really weird because I was going to chuck some Christmas records in. Is it too early? So I'm just asking people.
No, never too early for a bit of Mariah Carey, mate. Honestly, get a couple of Christmas songs in. It is what Christmas do. The reason we never do it in December is very simple. People are so busy in December. So November is usually the best time to do it. So yeah, get a few Christmas bangers on, mate. It'll be a cracking night. Get yourself along. £12 a ticket. All proceeds going to Age UK, North Tyneside Dementia. Warren Barton, Joe Allen having a natter. Adam Henderson is going to come along and do a little acoustic set. And of course, me and Singe will be releasing the book that night as well. It'll be our official launch for the book. So you'll be able to buy a copy on the night if you want to get one and support the charity even further. Okay, we've managed to go 5 minutes through the show without mentioning the game of the weekend. I'm sure there's something else we could talk about, but we're going to have to talk about it. That's why we do this show. It is Talk of the Toon. Newcastle losing at Brighton. It's no surprise, Sid. I mean, we did the stats last week. In the last 8 Premier League games, five draws, 3 defeats, and if you want to go further back, to games with Brighton, I think that's now extended to 18 games without a win against Brighton down there. It's a bit of a nightmare for us. It's a bogey team. There's no doubt about it. It's a difficult team for us to get a result against, and it never looked likely at the weekend.
It was a weird one, innit? They've turned into our sort of Southampton team, haven't they, from the past, where apart from minus Matt Letizia. Yeah, it was a strange game. I mean, I watched it. I was obviously disappointed because I said last week I didn't think we'd get beat till December, so it shows you what I know. 0. and yeah, I was disappointed. There's some very disappointing performances out there. I was surprised at the team selection, if I'm being perfectly honest. I didn't expect Joe Linton to be starting, having travelled all the way back from Korea. I thought that was a real surprise. I thought Ramsey would get the shout, or Miley. Miley came on, did very well actually, so big shout out for him. Well done. So I was surprised. The first 10 minutes, I thought, Newcastle have started like a train. They look really, really good. Joe Linton was dominating the middle of the park. And then after that, he just sort of dropped off a cliff. Just went like that. And they were, I'm not saying they were rubbish, but they weren't great, I think is the phrase I would say after that for the rest of the first half. And Brighton dominated. And there were some really poor performances. I mean, the midfield, it was interesting to see the stats. Our midfield was knackered. I mean, bearing in mind 2 of them, that's why I thought it was all well and good to play one, Bruno, who'd done that journey, but to play 2 of them was pushing your luck, because we've all done it before and we've all travelled somewhere, and it's very tiring, like having a big journey and then being expected to play football. We've all done it ourselves when we've been on holiday and come back, and you couldn't imagine running around a field all day, going flat out.
Yeah,
it's quite hard. People might go, they get paid loads of money, they should be able to do it, but it's not as straightforward as that. And I would have dropped Joe Linton, and I'm not saying that in hindsight. I would have dropped him for this, and I would have played him on Tuesday. As it happens, I wouldn't do that now, and so I'll mention that later on. But I was surprised. I was surprised at the formation, and I think some of the big takeaways we take away from this certainly is the Dan Burn thing just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's him as a left back, and I'm not trying to dig him out. He got skinned on a couple of occasions. He was really poor in the air. He got out jumped a number of times by Minty, who I thought was ironically, of course, the best player on the park. Who I thought was terrific. And he played for us. Ironically, we would have won the game. After bigging up Tonali, it was probably his worst game in 2 years. In the game, apparently, I believe he's ill. He's been off, didn't train today because he's ill. So he's obviously maybe carrying a bug. And, we all know what it's like to be ill and not, you're never quite right, are you? So, and I'm not digging him out because, I mean, my God, the amount of times he's been unbelievable. He's entitled to one bad game.
Yeah.
Bruno, I thought, played very well in the second half, but had a poor first half. So he got an extra wind, as it were, and did pretty well, to be fair. Looked better with Miley up with them, So there is a question about Big Joe. And Big Joe's not been the same player this year. Whether that's injuries getting to him, whether he's just not fully fit, I'm not quite sure. He can be that player again. I have no doubt about it. I'm not saying he's finished by any means. But what I will say as well, that if Newcastle want to progress next year, he's probably going to have to be a second choice player and somebody else in. And Big Joe still play 25, 30 games a season, but maybe he's not as the first choice midfielder. And again, his story's phenomenal, but he's going to be 30, I think, next year. So, time does catch up to us all. I thought we were just poor. I thought the defense wasn't great. I thought Botman was to blame for one of the goals and wasn't really great. But again, he's played very, very well. Chow was actually pretty good, I thought. Again, Pope was excellent.
He was, yeah.
I thought he was super. Trivia played all right, actually. The wings are just a real worry. I mean, I'm sorry, but Alanga, he's been awful. And people might go, he played brilliant against Union. I mean, where? Are they championship quality? I'm not convinced they were. And he was good against them. He was good against Barcelona, to be fair to him, and he was pretty good against Liverpool as well. So he's had a couple of good games against proper opposition, but he's been pretty poor. And the name that keeps springing to my mind in terms of where I see him at the minute is Obertan.
What, for Alanga?
Yeah. Do you see much of an improvement?
I don't. I mean, I usually let you talk on here and don't get much of a chance to speak on most of these podcasts. But I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm really concerned at this moment in time, and I know it's very early days. But I look at Alanga and I see a player low on confidence. I see a player who can't control the ball at this moment in time, and he doesn't really seem to know what to do if he does manage to control the ball, and it is worrying. Now, will this change when there's a centre forward, a recognised goal scorer?
It might do. It might just click because Gordon had a really poor 6 months. Remember, so I'm prepared to give him 6 months. I'll give him, say, end of Feb. Give him till end of February and see how he gets on, because I think that's plenty of time at that stage.
But I think you're right. I think you're right.
And as I say, Obertan, I think we paid £3 million or something like that. Somebody could correct me, obviously. And I don't see any improvement. I don't see him being any better. Obertan was as quick as lightning, but he had nothing, no end product. And Alanga seems to be pretty much the same. I mean, he's supposed to be 2-footed, but he don't show it to me. I mean, that line the other day when he had the ball and he's running down, then he left the ball behind. I was like, put my head in my hands. I think that sums up his current form. And Jacob Murphy did more in 5 minutes than Alanga did in the whole of the 45. I thought Murphy was excellent, actually. And Murphy seems to play very well every other game, which is pretty good for a winger. And I'm going to put this out there. I think he plays more consistently than Anthony Gordon does in terms of being playing well. And he gets a really bad press off the fans. I don't understand it. I really don't. Is he a world beater? Is he Nobby Solano? No, but he is a very good player. He starts for 2 years, not 1 year. Let's put this out there properly. For 2 years are very, very good. So he just gets too much grief for me. I thought Gordon was all right. Wasn't a world beater. You could argue he's tracking back for Dan Burn, but he wasn't great. I just thought, Walter Marty's goal, by the way, I thought was sensational. He had no right to score that goal. I thought that was absolutely fabulous. Proper out of your seat type of goal, wasn't it? Beautiful flick. Lovely. The guy's got lovely skill. He is very, very much like Berbatov as a sort of footballer, except he's got a bit of aerial skill as well. So I'm quite excited by him because he'd actually done very little up to that point. But he scored. But that's what centre forwards do, isn't it? Shearer used to do could do nothing in a game sometimes and then bang 2 goals in and get man of the match. So I'm sure Supermat was the same. And that's what a centre forward's supposed to do. They're not supposed to dominate possession and be amazing all the way through the game. They're supposed to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what you get paid for. So well done to him. Just brilliant, proving everybody wrong. Absolutely fab. But there's not enough support. There's not enough flair. And I said this last week, I love a bit of flair. As I say, my favourite players are like the likes of Waddle and Ginola and Robert and Solano, and there's just not enough there going at the minute. I thought Barnes came on, did all right. I thought he was all right. Again, a little bit maligned off some people that I've read, but I thought he did all right, actually. But we just need more. There's just not enough going forward at the minute. We're not shooting. Just shoot, man. What have you got to lose? Keeper's going to save. It's going to go over. It might hit a defender. But it's not going to hit the back of the net if you don't shoot. And we're not shooting enough. That's a real concern for me. Our lack of attacking options and people taking chances.
I mean, we knew that was going to be the situation because of the injury to Wissa. Obviously we could have sold Asula, but we didn't. We're left with Asula and Voltemada until Wissa comes back.
albeit for a short period of time before he goes to AFCON. But let's
possibly.
rewind. Let's rewind a little bit to what you said about Dan Burn, and Dan Burn is getting an immense amount of criticism online, which I think is really unfair. He's been asked to
He's
play
not left back.
He's been asked to play that position because in Eddie Howe's mind at this moment in time, nobody else can do the job. But I think the question mark for me would be: is it not time to maybe give Kraft an opportunity and move Trippier back, move Trippier to left back, go for a bit more balance, and take Burn certainly out the left back, not necessarily out the firing line. He can still do a really good job at centre half.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we see him in his position. What would you do if you were picking the team on Tuesday night against Benfica? What's your solution for that left back position?
Controversially, I'd put Alex Murphy in as left back.
Okay, so you'd blood him. Okay,
I would. Yeah, people might go, "Oh my God, it's such a big game." Well, if you're going to make it, you're going to make it, and if you're not, you're not. Let's find out. There's no point in going, "Oh well, let's make a play against an easy team." What's going to happen when he gets up against a hard team? I really would. He looked pretty quick. He's not lightning, but he's quicker than Burn. He looked pretty good as a left back. I was quite impressed with him on the couple of pre-season games I've seen him play. I would play him. I mean, don't get us wrong. I still think we should have bought somebody who could cover both sides. The guy from Southampton who went on free transfer to West Ham, is it something Phillips? He would have been the choice I would have went for because he's a good player. But anyway, we've got to get somebody in who can do the left back role, and it's just typical. And we've probably got the two best fullbacks in the country, or certainly two of the best 3 or 4 fullbacks in the country, and neither of them are fit, which is unreal, really. So yeah, I would. Yeah, I would take a chance with them. What have they got to lose? Because everybody's just targeting Dan Burn now, and I don't want to dig him out because, as I say, I'm a big fan of his. I think it was at the theatre the other day when I saw Miss Saigon. I'm pretty sure I was there. He just stood me sunk into the seat because he's so big. But yeah, and I feel sorry for him because I personally thought he didn't deserve dropping. He was so good as a centre half. But then, as I say, Botman and Shaw, who seem to have some sort of relationship going on then, so you'd probably have to keep them as one as the two centre halves.
I thought he was a bit unfortunate as well. I mean, I think the majority of the criticism came at the weekend because of the second goal. But I mean, it was a wonderful challenge, and it was just an unfortunate ricochet.
Yeah, that was Botman following the ball instead of following his man. So Botman went then to follow the ball, as it were, because of Dan Burn's challenge. I don't think he expected him to get it. And of course, he went to cover Dan Burn. The ball popped out, and to be fair, we put it away really, really well, as much as it sticks in me craw. What I don't understand is all the Mackham singing his name at the ground. That's just so weird. That's just, I don't understand any of that. It's like we have players who've left us and score goals against certain players. We never go out and start singing their name at the ground. I can't comprehend that. All my Sunderland friends, I had one good friend of mine, a lad called Ian, and we used to go to concerts together and that. I thought he died for 8 years, and he's just suddenly come back to life again now, and he starts messaging me every weekend now. He's resurrected. I was like, where have you been for the last 7 or 8 years? It's now that Sunderland are doing all right.
Yeah, it's a strange situation. Do you think that's putting more pressure on us this year?
It shouldn't. We shouldn't be worrying about them. I tend not to really think about them, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to be lower than them, obviously, and I think they'll stay up. It shouldn't. We should only be concerned about ourselves. And if we have to be concerned about anybody, and this is where we should be at, we should be concerned about Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, Spurs, Aston Villa, Chelsea. We shouldn't be concerned about anybody else. But we have to be at the moment because, let's be frank, we were laughing at Villa recently. Well, not laughing, but we were saying, look, Villa have had a terrible start. They're higher than us. Mm-hmm. Man United, look how terrible they are. They're higher than us. So this tells me that we really need to, pick ourselves up a little bit, yeah. Do I have full faith in Eddie Howe? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure he'll dig it out and sort it out. But we need to sort of pull our socks up a little bit because what's occurring on the pitch at the moment is just not good enough. And I don't buy into the whole. I do buy into by the way, the two lads coming from South Korea business, because I think that's like a ridiculous. I'm not sure how to play the. As I say, I wouldn't play both. But Brighton had a similar situation where they've got players who've been away on international football.
I added it up yesterday when we did the professionals, and if you let's say first teamers, not squad members, not people who were out on loan. It was more or less 11 each. Newcastle had 11 players away, Brighton had 11 players away. So you can't use that as an excuse.
No, and you and I had a conversation the other day as well. And if Eddie Howe doesn't trust the squad, what's the point of just playing the same players all of the time? Because it's the same players get picked every single game, irrespective, and he needs to be able to trust some of these players a little bit more. Yes, I appreciate Miley's getting more game time now. Why not throw him in? If you've got the faith in him, throw him in. If not, sell him. And this applies to all the players in terms of the squad. If you don't trust them, sell them. I think has to be the sort of the way to look at it. Otherwise, what's the point of having them? And I don't see the point in just blooding them in. Just throw them in, go for it. Let's see what they can do. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. I appreciate he was trying to save Ramsey a little bit, who's not been fit and he's coming back. And you could argue that with Miley a little bit, but they've been there for 2 weeks training. So I don't understand why they didn't play. Maybe that's just me, but I feel certainly one of them should have started in place of Big Joe. And there was an argument looking at Tonali, who's clearly not fit and was clearly unwell. There was an argument that maybe he should have been just rested for a bit and get himself sorted, because we don't want to sort of exacerbate the situation. So yeah, a little bit concerned, I think, is the phrase. And I keep going back to it. My last point is just I'm just really annoyed at all that the lack of somebody who can break. I mean, Voldemort probably is that player, but he can't play there at the minute because he needs somebody else ahead of him. But we need somebody who can just break open a defence. And the wingers aren't doing it. Murphy whips a great ball in, nobody in the middle of the park. But Gordon's not doing it consistently enough. Barnes isn't doing it consistently enough, and Elanga's just not doing it. Full stop. So it needs to be addressed, and it needs to start happening. I was pleased to see Howe taking action in half time.
Me too.
Gives people a kick up the backside. But again, just that one last point there. Going back to, and I mentioned this to my mate the other day. He goes, "Oh, you're harsh," and I referenced Bob Paisley, and I remember listening to Gibbo saying this: if you bought somebody and you think you're a mistake, you get them out of the club as quickly as possible. And I think that's Elanga's got the end of February to prove himself. And if he doesn't do it, he goes. And I think you have to be ruthless, and hold your hand up if you make an error.
I think some players take time to settle into a squad. I think as well. I think he came with the hope and prayer that he would be playing alongside Alexander Isak, which should have been the perfect fit.
Absolutely. Gordon took 6 months, remember? That's quite a long time. I think a year's probably taken the mick a little bit when you've spent 50-odd million, though. So yeah. I'm 6 months I'm more than happy with. Absolutely. I can totally get it and totally understand it. And the whole Eddie Howe fit system and regime, not a problem with that at all. But I mean, at the minute, Elanga doesn't have a trick in terms of being able to outskill somebody and go left and right, like Chris Waddle would drop his shoulder and then come inside or go outside, or Ginola. He's got none of that. He doesn't whip the ball in like Nobby Solano or Murphy for that. So what does he do? It's like watching sort of Kevin Dillon or Franz Carr or someone like that, or Obertan, as I mentioned earlier on. It's all well and good being quick, but I want to see something happening at the end of it. And I don't want to dig the kid out, because it's not nice. It feels wrong, actually, but I want to see better, and they've paid a lot of money. So...
Yeah. I mean, obviously at the weekend as well, not Newcastle United related, but Nottingham Forest sacked their manager. And really, I mean, this owner is a Lauren to himself, and things have gone badly for Forest since he walked onto the pitch and berated the manager previous.
A very good manager, may I add.
So, I mean, I guess, because there are people bizarrely calling for Eddie's head already, saying, not just pointing to the results this season, but saying we had a terrible end to last season. Is it time for a change? Eddie won't change. He's not looking at, he's playing the same team time and time again. And, there's lots of experts on social media, as we know. I mean, do you think this is the biggest test for Eddie that he's had since he came to the club?
No, I think it was last year. Steve, when I was moaning and saying unless he does something, something has to change, And I think we were about 10th or something, at Christmas. And then
12th,
we went on
12th in December.
Right, okay, right. And then, so it was that time, very similar to now. And then we went on a run. But he's got a proven track record. I'm going to put this out there now. If Newcastle United end up 9th at the end of the season, don't win anything, I am still happy to have Eddie Howe as the manager the following season. If he did it again, then fair enough. But because I think he'll get it right. And I think he'll turn it round. I think he's the man who can help us within 2-3 years win the title. I do think that, providing we get the option to spend a little bit of money. I really do. I really do. He's won something which I've lived long enough never to have seen it happen before. So, yeah. And I've got absolute faith in him. I really do. So, yeah, I'm fully confident. Despite how the season started. But I'm fully confident, no problem at all from me. He should have plenty in the bank. He's won a League Cup. We've never won Nout. Never won Nout since 1969, when I was little, so it don't count. So, yeah, I'm more than happy. And I get people having a moan, and there's a lot of youngsters or people in their 20s and 30s berating them and giving it all that on sort of Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Twitter, and I don't get it. The guy's won something, and as much as I love Kevin Keegan, and I do, and in terms of what he stands for and what he means, Eddie Howe's done something that none of the others have done, and Bobby Robson didn't do, and so Joe Harvey did, of course, but the others haven't. And I just think, well, let him do what he has to do. Let him build a team. I am convinced he will be successful. I mean, he might be the next England manager next year. I hope not. I hope they win the World Cup and they keep the same guy on. But Eddie Howe, full backing, 100% from me. So
yeah. Okay, good stuff. Halfway through the show, time for the ad. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them at www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickies.co.uk. Email info@mrvickies.co.uk or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2-crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And if you like listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network or to iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, then hit the subscribe button. It's free. We do 7 shows a week. Hit the little thumb up under the video, which is the like button, or click share to share to your social media. You can also join the channel on YouTube by hitting the join button for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become an NUFC Matters member, you can go to nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. It's a £25 one-off fee. You get your pen, you get your badge, a key ring, you get your beer mat and your fridge magnet and your membership card, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk for that. And we have an event early next year, 13th of February 2026, an evening with Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. To buy your tickets for that event, go to the box office 0191 243 1171 or Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk. And it's time to welcome Rob to the show for our music section. How are you, Rob?
Excellent, gentlemen. How are you both?
Good to see you, Rob.
Yes, and you. This before we go any further, I just want to say, just to homage to the late Ace Frehley, who passed last week. Another icon on his journey back home.
Yeah, good stuff. This is the week that Rob won't be reviewing this album. Peter Kruder plays the Beatles. What on earth is that all about?
It's a real album. I don't know. I don't know. I did.
So he plays them on a piano by the looks of it, wearing an ill-fitting wig.
Well, I'm finding this quite funny because I showed Rachel it and I said, "Look at this," and then when I seen "I Want to Hold Your Hand," my mind just went. Jeremy Beadle had a version, "I Want to Hold Your Tiny Hand," and she said, "You can't say that," but it says, "But we're putting this on and ripping this to bits," so it's just all in good fun. That's all.
It is all it's part of the entertainment. So what album are you bringing us today, mate?
Today was requested a couple of weeks ago. It's Bob Seger called Night Moves 1976. I don't know if that's Dave Grohl or Lemmy, but I've heard of the name. I've never heard any of his music before. This is his 9th album. Obviously, his backing band, the Silver Bullet Band. And Steve, I did say to you, pick an album because I didn't know. So yeah, this is, listen to it twice. Really, really good. It opens with Rockin' We'll Never Forget. Brilliant production for the time. It's really dark. It's really gravelly, but it's really full. It's got a depth and a warmth to it. I really like it. To me, this opening song, it's like Status Quo meets Chaz and Dave. Really, really good. And I was pleasantly surprised. He opened for Kiss as well in 1976, which I was unaware of, just doing a bit deep diving for it. Really nice saxophone parts in the background on this one. This is a classic rock feel American track. Really, really good, and a really, really nice guitar solo in it. Very pleased so far. You're going into Night Moves next. Nice acoustic opening. Really, really good vocals. Really gravelly. It's brilliant. Very organic. Just total natural. This is one of those ones that makes me want to jump on my motorbike and just go for a long ride somewhere. It's one of those ones that just makes you feel happy and just go and enjoy life song. Then you've got The Fire Down Below. Sounds like a title of an album I'm not reviewing next week. It's sort of very Rolling Stones-ish, but a bit more, like Tumbling Dice, sort of by the Stones. I really, really love the classic drumming on this as well. Really, really good. Every second beat, he opens his hi-hat up. Very, very Roger Taylor-ish. The drumming on this is really good. It's just simple, basic, but does enough. He's got his own staple on it. He's got his own mark on it. You've got Sunburst, again, really nice crash cymbal in this. Nice bell on this as well. Pulls it opening together. Really unusual arrangements on the guitar on this one. Really nice piano parts as well. Has quite a religious feel about it, including the lyrics as well. All the songs. Nice little stories, nice little tales. You've got Sunspot Baby, Get It On by T-Rex, if you like that. This is what it reminded me of, but it's that era. Brilliant song, solid 4-bar blues on this one. Distortion on this is absolutely outstanding. 10 out of 10 for that one. Again, every song so far is really, really pleasant. Very surprised, very pleasantly surprised. Nice little stories and nice little journeys. You've got Main Street, nice guitar, nice piano on the intro in this one. Again, another short story. Brilliant. His raspy voice again. It's just great. There's nothing pushed in it. There's nothing like, it's just warm, natural, good depth to it. songs about his, a crush on a tabletop dancer. I was just going through the lyrics to it, and it's that song From a Distance. There's a squeeze song like that as well. Points of View, it's called. Sweets of a Stranger album. But yeah, it's a nice song about that. Then you've got Come to Papa. It's more dancey. When I say dancey, a bit more sort of disco feel to it. Again, really refreshing. A little change in direction. Wah wah guitar, as you all know, it's my favourite guitar effect. This, to me, is the favourite song on the album so far. I wasn't expecting this. Again, there's quite a lot going on in the song, but just enough. It's not pushed. It's not busy. It's spot on for me. 2 songs to go. So you've got Ship of Fools, one of those bright sunshine songs, right summery songs. It's a bit like Take It Easy by the Eagles. I prefer this song better. Really, really good country vibe on this one. I know this is played in a lot of country channels on the radio in America, or used to be. Then you've got Mary Lou, the last song. Brilliant, rack-tom drum intro to this one. Very Brian Johnson-ness when he played for this band. Geordie. Brilliant. This is just straight down, in your face, classic American rock and roll. A really, really good album, Steve. I really enjoyed it. I would listen to it again, 100%. So yeah, for that, I'd give it about an 8.5 out of 10 for listening to the album twice. But before I go, Steve, a review, if you would like to do this.
What is it?
FACup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give it a listen.
I think it was Floods. It was associated with Depeche Mode. It was working on, I think, really good album. I got that recently. My friend recommended it to me. So yeah, next week I'm going to do a Halloween special. Yeah, so I'm just going to do like alternative songs for Halloween. I am going to dress up. Something to look forward to. Just a little change. And there'll be songs like the classics, like Release of Bats by the Birthday Party, stuff like that. And then I was thinking of Nick Cave, and I thought, has he done a song with Kylie Minogue? And then I was thinking Jazz Coleman with Killing Joke done a duet with Sarah Brightman as well. So yeah, so I'm going to just handpick some good old fun Halloween songs, and yeah, don't miss it, because I'll be dressing up.
All right, good stuff. I've had some interesting suggestions over the last few weeks. Like, I've listened to some Rainbow, some X-Ray Specs, the Monochrome set. I love them. Really, really good. I listened to Howard Jones, and I listened to Eagle Eye Cherry, Ian Jury, which was Sid's one of Sid's suggestions. Toto as well, which was quite good after your album review last week. So yeah, keep them coming. I'm doing well up to day 289 or day 290.
Drake as well, didn't you?
Nick Drake was excellent. Yeah, I went through all of his albums on the way back from a pub crawl, which was quite good. So yeah, excellent stuff. So what have you brought us this week, Sid?
So I've gone with a great album, actually. I've gone with the Kinks, the Village Green Preservation Society, released in November 1968, same time as the Beatles' White Album. I think it came out the same day, or there or thereabouts. It's a fantastic album. It really is. Ray Davies, for me, is the best singles songwriter of the 1960s. I think the Beatles were the best albums songwriters, and I think Ray Davies is the best singles songwriter. So I agree with Pete Townsend, who said exactly the same sort of thing with regard to Ray Davies. Totally agree with him. It's an album that about time that didn't really exist. So it's a critique about looking back on rose-tinted glasses with regards to the past, sort of quite topical, really. But then we have it. It starts off with a song about nostalgia, and it's the title track, The Village Green Preservation Society, which is a great song, really catchy, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Funny lyrics. God save little shops, China cups, and virginity. That's one of the lines. It's God save Donald Duck, I think, gets mentioned as well, which is great. So you can see we're sort of moving around and shifting sort of imagery around. He's very, very, very clever lyricist, Ray Davies, one of the true great writers. So it's a great opener. Track 2, it's also a concept. As I say, the idea of like a sort of village or an area. He does it later on with the Notting Hill bit, with one of the later albums. I forgot what it's called now. I'll check it out again. Second track is my favorite track on the album, Walter. It's just brilliant. He said we used to. He met a lad called Walter. He says we used to play football together every Saturday. Then I met him, Recently, after about 5 years apart, we found that we just didn't have anything in common and nothing to talk about. And that's what the song's all about, growing apart.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. Again, I don't think anybody does sort of sadness and wistfulness as well as Ray Davies in terms of nostalgia and looking back. It's brilliant. Picture Book's the next song, which is quite uplifting. The idea of looking through a photo album, again, looking back at the past. I mean, photo albums, for the kids watching, they're books where we have pictures, and we used to have them in a book. Next is Johnny Thunder, a song about a rebel who dies in a motorcycle crash. A bit like the old Leader of the Pack type of songs, if you like, in terms of the lyrics. And this would, of course, inspire New York Doll member John Genzal, who would change his name to Johnny Thunders. Yeah. It's a terrific song. Next, we've got Last of the Steam-Powered Trains, which is basically just a big take on Smokestack Lightning, which he just rewrites. But well, Big Sky's great song. I like Big Sky. It's got some terrific Kenny Jones-style drumming. And the drummer, oh, Christ, it's absolutely, I've gone brain dead today. The drummer, what was his name again? Avery, Mick Avery, was originally the drummer of the Rolling Stones before Charlie Watts. Yeah, for a very short period, and then he left and joined the Kinks. But anyway, this has got very much a Kenny Jones type of drum feel on it. He's a terrific drummer, actually. And Ray Davies talks on this song almost trying to be like the role of God, which is quite interesting, but it's brilliant. Sitting by the Riverside is a lovely, wistful song. Sounds vocally as if he's miles away in the distance. It's got like a pastoral, warm sound with a honky-tonk piano going on. And then it has a very short rise section, a bit like the Day in the Life middle bit. It's got a bit of that going on at some point. Good song, really good song. Side 2 kicks off with Animal Farm. Again, links to George Orwell, although it doesn't have the dystopian themes this time round. It's just like sort of quite a warm, happy sounding song. Bit Beach Boysy, actually. Really good song. We've then got The Village Green, which is the oldest song on it. He wrote it in 1966, and he had this idea stashed away for almost 18 months before he wrote the rest of the album. It's a beautiful song. It's really, really catchy. Super, super catchy. It's got almost a Baroque feel, but with a really catchy sort of chorus. It's brilliant. Starstruck, great song. And it's his tribute to writing about the Four Tops, where he was starstruck, which is interesting because if you read anybody's accounts of Ray Davies, many people say he's not a very pleasant man.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Go and speak to him. I can't comment because I've never seen him. I've never spoken to him. But I have seen him a few times. Phenomenal Cat is a weird song. It's about a flying cat. It's a bit like sort of Lewis Carroll sort of feel. Not one of the stronger ones. All of My Friends Are There has got like a waltz feel. And that's quite music hall. Again, looking back at the past. Wicked Annabella is very psychedelic with Dave singing. Monica is a real strange calypso type song. I would have probably replaced it because he wrote 2 other songs at the time that were possibly going to be on the album and didn't. And one of them is Days, which is one of the greatest songs of the 1960s. And Wonder Boys is another belter that could have been on. The album finishes with people take pictures of each other. Again, going back to that idea of photographs and looking back at the past. And it links back to the title. There's one other song that could have also been on. It was a song called Mr. Songbird, which is very, very Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, he could write anything at the time. He went through such a period when he was so good, so good. I mean, what a writer. And nobody does writing about the past better than him. I mean, Come Dancing, which he wrote in 1984, released in 1984, is another one which looks back at the past and about his sister going to the dance halls that were no longer there anymore. So what a writer. Great album. It's a top album. It probably does get 5 stars because it is very, very influential. And it's really, really just a super album. Can't recommend it enough. So there we go. Yeah, the Green Preservation Society.
Superb. I'm not sure whether I've listened to a Kinks one this time round, so I'm gonna have to maybe listen to that one if I haven't.
It's a grower. My mate lives likes the. I'll send you that. I keep forgetting. Is it the Notting Hill I forgot what they call it now.
All right,
Anyway,
send us a suggestion because I don't think I've listened to the Kinks.
Yeah.
If not, did Ray Davies do any solo
He
albums?
did, and he's done a
Yeah.
couple of really good ones. One of them was excellent, actually. I'll send you that because I
Send
really
us a
like
couple
it.
send me a couple of suggestions for that, Sid. And Rob, send me that album, screenshot that album, send that, and I'll listen to those. Listen to something like that over the next couple of days.
Will do.
Because I love these suggestions. Honestly, it's been a
Yeah.
great challenge, and I'm probably just going to continue it next year because
Yeah.
it's been great just listening to new music. You know,
Right with your taste, doesn't it? You know.
Teenage Fan Club today, lads. By the way, 13.
Oh yeah, good album. Yeah, quite a good
Really,
album. Actually. Yeah.
really good. Now you always give us something else. Sid, what have you given us today?
Yeah, I've gone with the TV series. Steve, I'll let you do the catchphrase since you were sort of insistent on it.
I am not a number. I'm a free man.
Patch
So
good.
we've gone with The Prisoner,
Dun,
which is
dun.
great theme tune as well, isn't it? With the bongos and all the rest of it. It's mental.
Superb.
It's a fantastic series. I'm going to watch it again. I haven't watched it in about 20 years. So I thought, well, I'm going to watch Prisoner. I thought that'd be quite a good one to refer to. There's 17 episodes shot between 66 and January 68. There are various opinions on it. Some people think it's a follow-on to the TV show Danger Man, which he'd previously been in, and that he's basically been captured and then held in this place. And then he insists it wasn't, but some of the writers insist it was. So, so who knows? So we got the character number 6 by the fantastic Patrick McGowan as an unnamed British intelligence agent who abruptly and angrily resigns from his position in government. He then gets knocked out, unconscious with knockout gas in his Westminster home. And he wakes up in something known as the Village, which for those of you who do or don't know is Port Merion in Wales, which is a beautiful little place. Again, very psychedelic, I think is the phrase I'm going to use. And there's a character there. Each week there's a different person called number 2. He's known as number 6. So we're all assigned numbers. And he wants to try and find out who number 1 is.
Who is number 1?
And every week, there's, as I say, some don't make reappearances. Like Leo McKern reappears as number 2. I thought he was fantastic in it, actually, Leo McKern.
Brilliant.
And it's some really great stories, some absolute bonkers stories. And the weirdest aspect of this is security. There's a giant balloon that chases you down called Rover. And the balloon captures you and you can't escape from the area. It's mental. It's absolutely nuts, but it's brilliant. It's such a good show. Very much of its time, but really well written, quite dystopian. I love it. I'm really looking forward to watching it again because, as I say, it's been a good 20 years since I last seen it. Maybe it's longer. So I'm really looking forward to watching The Prisoner. So yeah, I've got The Prisoner. Again, as I say, it's very much a cult TV show. For those of you who've never tried it and like something a little bit unusual, give it a go. But I'm sure I'm probably speaking to the converted who've already watched it. But there we go.
Sid,
you watched it. Have you watched it, Rob?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And the song, The Prisoner by Iron Maiden, was a song that I realised I could drum. An intro is exactly, you are number 6. I'm not number. And then kicking into the double bass pedal. That was the song, that was the intro that I realised.
And the meeting place by XTC was shot there as well, wasn't it?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Another one said, and Steve, you both like science fiction, obviously, but Logan's Run, do you remember that? That was
yes.
I've got it, yeah.
Have you? Oh, nice. Yeah, I just remembered that. Just
Space 1999. Space 1999 was pretty good as well. I used to quite like that. That gets banned quite a bit, but I mean, Blake Seven's obviously my favourite. Sid likes Blake Seven. But yeah, Logan's Run's another one. Yeah, that was good.
The hidden gem.
Great stuff, Rob. Thanks very much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week, mate. Take care.
See you later, man.
Bye-bye. Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Great stuff, as always, from Rob. Just time to look ahead to the Benfica game. We are pre-recording this show on Monday, and the Eddie Howe press conference has been going on as me and Sid have been recording this show.
2 games this week, because we've got Fulham as well.
Yeah, we have, Sandro Tonali's touch and go for the match against Benfica. He's suffering from illness. Howe says Newcastle will use every hour they have in a bid to have the Italian available. So there we go. It is not the news we wanted to hear, but hopefully he will be fit enough to play some part in the game. So yeah, Benfica, it's a must-win game because we have to win. We have to win a home game in the Champions League. It would give us a big boost after the disappointment of the weekend as well, Sid.
Yeah, I'm very confident. Funnily enough, it sounds stupid. I'm more confident in the Champions League than I am in the Premier League. It might be one of them seasons. Who knows? No, I'm very confident. We should be going out and beating the Portuguese league, basically teams from the Portuguese league. We should. I said that about the Belgium league, and it proved to be correct because it's quite frankly rubbish. Portuguese league's not great. It's not one of the top 5 leagues. We should have enough, irrespective of Sandro's playing or not, to go out there and beat them. And I'm confident that we will. If Sandro's even a doubt, don't play him. Don't risk him. Make sure he's fit for Saturday and play Miley in the middle. Maybe he's doing Miley and Bruno, or Miley and Bruno, and possibly Chuck Ramsey further up ahead. That's probably what I would do, and give Sandro a little bit of time to get himself sorted. He's far too important to risk. He really is.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So you think we're gonna win this game?
Yes, I do. If Sandro plays, we'll win 3-0. If he doesn't, we'll win 2-1.
Okay, and Newcastle take on Fulham at the weekend in the Premier League in another really must-win game after the recent results.
Yeah, they did the double on the last year, but then did Brighton not do that as well? No, Brighton withdrew, didn't they? I'm not as confident. I'm not as confident in the Premier League at the minute. I feel like how many times have we sort of got back into a game and then just shot ourselves in the foot and threw it away? I don't know. I think Fulham will be a draw. I hate to see it. I'm going 1-1.
1-1. Okay, Sid. Great stuff. Thank you for pre-recording today. Obviously, we had to with the match being live on Tuesday night. Enjoy the games. And I will see you next week, mate. Take care.
Take care, man. Look after yourself. Bye-bye, folks.